Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video. Elizabeth kisses Lucky after he wakes up. Lucky wakes up and confides something to Sonny. Plus, Jack's threat shakes Sidwell. Today on General Hospital, Martin tries to bargain with Tracy, Chase and Brooklyn come to an understanding. And Elizabeth plants a kiss on Lucky. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Felicia finds Liz finishing up her shift at the hospital. Felicia thought she'd be taking some time off, but Liz says being here helps keep her mind off of what happened with Cyrus. Liz talks about Lucky's decision to stay around Port Charles and knows Aiden would love it if his dad stayed. Felicia asks, "Just Aiden?" Liz admits not just Aiden. Lulu sits with Lucky, who finally stirs awake. He asks what happened and if Liz is okay. She says Liz is fine, and he asks to see her. Lulu says she'll let her know he's awake, but first, what in the hell was he thinking? She can't lose him after everyone else she's lost. Lucky says he had to stop Cyrus after what he did to her. He asks if the police got Cyrus. Lulu says no, but someone did. She relays that Jason was arrested for possibly killing Cyrus, but they didn't have enough evidence and let him go. Lucky is just glad one way or another that Cyrus is gone. Lulu goes to get Liz, who is still with Felicia, and lets her know Lucky is awake. Chase shows up at the gym and apologizes to Dante for being late. He says he really needs to hit something. Chase fills Dante in on his suggestion to Brooklyn that they use Finn as a sperm donor, and realizes he blindsided her with the idea. He says he's put her in an awkward position again, and then takes some hits at the bag. Dante notes the complications of asking a family member to be a sperm donor, and he doesn't think he could do it. He couldn't father a kid and not be a part of their life. Chase starts to see his idea in a new way. Dante understands he wants his kid to have his genes, but to remember what happened to Molly and Christina. Chase says Brooklyn mentioned them, and he understands Brooklyn's perspective a bit better now. He decides to go home and talk to his wife. In Brooklyn's room, she and Lois talk about Chase's idea to have Finn be a sperm donor for their baby. Brooklyn hasn't seen him this optimistic since he found out he was sterile, but she was in shock when he told her, and he could see it on her face. She cries that she wants to have Chase's baby, not Finn's. Lois tells Brooklyn she needs to be 100% sure about this and not to try and talk herself into it for Chase's sake. Brooklyn admits she shouldn't have these doubts, and because she does, Finn isn't the right choice. She fears what this will do to Chase. Brooklyn confides in her mom that she could never keep such a massive secret from her child about who their father is, and that they have a sister and not a cousin in Violet. She can't live with a huge bomb like that hanging over her head. Brooklyn admits all of this has brought up the baby she gave up. She wonders if they know they are adopted, and if they hate her for giving them up, or if they understand she did it to give them a better life. Lois comforts Brooklyn as she breaks down. Later, Chase returns and tells Brooklyn he's realized using Finn as a sperm donor isn't the right choice. He's sorry he put her in the position he did. They embrace one another. Martin meets with Tracy in the Quartermain living room to talk business. She assumes he's here about the cease and desist order against Drew using the Quartermain name. Tracy fumes that she's sick of Drew appropriating the Quartermain name for his own power-hungry needs. Martin says, speaking of appropriating, when was the last time she had the estate surveyed? She reveals he's been doing some digging. It turns out her father overshot their property line decades ago, and the Quartermain family crypt sits on public land. He says he'll keep this secret as long as she drops the cease and desist order. He notes it would be a shame if Edward and Leela had to be relocated. She tells him to stop, and she's calling his bluff. Lulu interrupts them and gives Tracy the news about Lucky. Martin is thrilled for Lulu and Laura. Lulu brings up her own daughter, whom she wants home. Martin swears he's searched through all his records hoping to find something about Valentin to help her, but he came up empty. Martin says he has to go as he has another meeting, but tells Tracy this isn't over. Tracy tells Lulu that Martin is lying, and his demeanor changed the minute she walked in. She is positive Martin is hiding something. Later, Dante returns home, noting Martin almost hit him racing off the estate. She fills him in that she questioned him about Charlotte, and she thinks Martin is the key to finding her. Sonny arrives at Laura's office and asks why he's here. She says they have a problem named Jens Sidwell. Jordan and Curtis are there too, and they'd warn him that Drew and Sidwell are after his waterfront property and may try to use eminent domain to get it. Sonny says he's not going to roll over and play dead. Laura tells Sonny that she is still the mayor, and she can't allow this city to become a battleground for him, Sidwell, and Drew. They all agree that the original site for the Esplanade is the best one, and they will push for it. She is telling him this as a courtesy, and there is no room for him to retaliate. They are interrupted when Felicia calls to tell Laura that Lucky is awake. Laura tells everyone that she has to get to the hospital, and Sonny offers to drive her. Curtis wonders to Jordan if Laura got through to Sonny. Jordan says they have to pray she did. Curtis informs Jordan about his plan to try and get Congressman Henderson to block Drew's efforts regarding the Esplanade, but it won't help with Sidwell. Jordan tells him to leave Sidwell to her, as she's having dinner with him this week, and she is determined to get something out of him. She notes that knowledge is power. Back at the hospital, Liz checks in on Lucky, walks over, and kisses him. He hopes that's not how she greets all her patients. She jokes only the special ones, and she thanks him for saving her from Cyrus. He says knowing she's okay makes every second in this bed worth it. Lucky asks how Aiden is doing. She says he's okay, and she'll bring him by in the morning. Lucky knows they have a lot to talk about. She says they have plenty of time to talk, and he needs to save his strength. Laura and Sonny arrive, and Laura tells her son she's so glad he's okay. He tells her that when she walked in, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. He feels better when she's around. Laura calls that's music to her ears. Laura speaks with Liz outside of Lucky's room and wonders if what's happened has changed Lucky's opinion about staying in Port Charles. Liz has been wondering the same thing. Back in his room, Sonny tells Lucky he had a lot of people pulling for him. Lucky reveals when he was facing death, he heard his dad's voice in the room with him. Luke told him it wasn't his time, saying, "Not yet, cowboy, not yet." Sonny says Luke always had the best timing, and given he saved Liz, he's got it too. Like father, like son. Sidwell meets with Lucy at Charlie's, and admits he asked her out with an ulterior motive. He wants her to help him buy Sonny's waterfront property. Trina sits at a table with Stella, and her aunt notices she has paint on her cheek. She asks if she's taking a painting class. Trina isn't and tells her about her afternoon with Kai. Stella is glad they are spending time together. Stella asks how Kai is handling his injury. Trina says little by little he's coming to terms with the fact that football isn't his future. Stella believes Trina is helping him, and she overcame so much herself this past year. Stella asks if this was a date they were on. Trina explains she thought it was a friendly outing at first, but by the end, they were definitely on a date and asks what trouble he's been stirring up. He jokes he hasn't even had a drink yet, let alone time to stir up trouble. Carly fills him in on what's going on with Jason, and how she hates seeing him railroaded for something he didn't do. Carly then hears Lucy and Sidwell giggling across the bar. Carly vents to Jack that Sidwell held her and Sasha at gunpoint and is now sitting over there like nothing happened. Sidwell approaches Carly when she's alone and warns her to have continued good sense and not report what happened at the Quartermain estate, which he calls a misunderstanding. Jack interrupts and asks Carly to order him another drink. He then warns Jens to leave Carly alone, or he'll finish what he started in Africa and drop a bomb on him. Sidwell returns to Lucy, who can see he's upset. He gets back to talking about buying Sonny's property. Lucy says she can't present his offer to Sonny, as he would never sell his properties. Sidwell reveals he's pursuing other avenues to acquire them. At the bar, Carly says Sidwell is clearly shaken, so what did Jack say to him? He says it was nothing worth mentioning, and he would rather get back to the conversation they were having at his office about this thing being between them. He will give her all the time she needs to figure what it is out, as she is worth waiting for. Trina comes over to speak to Carly about the text she got from Joss. Carly got one too. She took off without them getting to say goodbye. They discuss how amazing it is Joss got a last-minute opportunity to go to Easter Island for her environmental science program. Carly thinks this trip will change her life. On the next General Hospital, Lucky asks a favor of someone. Isaiah warns Jordan that if she gets in his way, Sidwell will get rid of her. Molly tells Cody, maybe one day I'll work up the courage to say exactly that. At Bobby's, Rick suggests Ava not press her luck on something. Sasha doesn't know how much more she can take. Jason says, you want to be the one calling the shots. Sonny thinks something isn't adding up.